Hey everybody, this is Amanda from Amanda's Budgets. I am here to do two things. We are going to finish off our IOU for Savings Challenge, and we're also going to be talking about investing, my point of view on investing, and we're going to talk about the coin savings challenge that nobody seems interested in watching. So I decided to add the coin savings challenge to something that you guys do want to talk about, because I know it's not everybody's favorite to watch these videos where I complete a coin savings challenge. Oh, Amanda, it's not that much money. It's not going to add up. Da 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 da. Whatever you want to say. I'm still doing it anyway because I have this whole pile of coins that need to go somewhere. Okay, so first of all, let's get into the cash. This is the cash part. This all came from the trip from the laundromat, and it also came from the this also came from cash tips from customers. So we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So $40. So the reason I wanted to put this in here is because I think it's important. We have this IOU to Miss Ellie from Ellie on Earth. And this is the challenge that she sent me for the month of May. I know it's now June, but let's get the $33 out of the way. So 5, 10, 15. Oop. Come on, Amanda. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 1, 2, and 3. So this was my cash tips for the last couple of days. This did not include the money that went into my account because this was all cash. And cash is king, guys. I like cash tips. They are the best. This last couple of days have been quite busy. We have Pride Month, and we had a Pride Parade in our area. So I picked up quite a few people today. And actually, I'm going to put this together, and in a separate video I will show what we're doing with completed challenges. So I'm going to put that aside. Our IOU is now not a IOU because I owe you nothing to that. We now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, $7 to this next challenge that we're going to start. And I'm actually going to pop this one out and put it behind here. So let's talk a little bit about investing. I know very little about investing. I've looked into high yield savings accounts. I've looked into savings bonds. Back in the day, savings bonds used to be super duper popular, especially in the 50s, 60s, 70s. I know that my grandfather talked about savings bonds for, you know, the kiddos in the family, and how like kids would get them for Christmas, and they would be paper bonds. Those are actually pretty low, super low risk, with about, I would say, 10% return on them. Obviously I am low income. I'm not going to be investing a whole lot of money. I don't know anything about the stock market as far as investing my own money goes. I know enough about it to get me, you know, knowledge, you know, about, you know, the stock market, how it works, all the things. So I know about this much in investing. A lot of people have asked me to talk about high yield savings accounts. Honestly, I don't permit anybody to get advice from anybody over the internet, specifically Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, anything like that. The one thing that I find to be the most irritating during my self-funded independent research time on investing and getting started and taking low-risk investments is there's really no one to talk to about it. I've called places like Edward Jones, that's what I want to call it. And they won't even talk to you unless you have $5,000 in your hand to invest. And they also don't really talk to you if you're a cash stuffer. How do I know that? Because I've called 5 of them in the last year. So investing is kind of scary for me. It should be scary for most people who don't know enough about investing. It makes it really hard. High yield savings accounts, I'm iffy about them. Just because I've read up on things. Like I said, you have your own opinion. You do your own research. I don't need anybody blowing my video up in comments and telling me I'm wrong. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Okay? Because I'm going to only do what works best for my family. By the way, with this coin challenge, you can do this any way you want to. Someone reached out to me and they were really upset because they were like, I can't get $3.55 in coins, but I can get 55 cents and $3. Why do you think there's cash in there, boo-boo? Because I can't do it either, and I still want to do this. So I'm going to color in this first row to make it 275 because I cheated ahead of time because I knew I wanted to chit-chat. So it's hard to invest on a low income when you have little to no knowledge. And when you're on a low income, it makes it even a higher risk not knowing. So at the end of the day, and I'm going to actually make more room, I feel it's safer for me to put my money into a savings account than it is for me to make a judgment based off of somebody else's quote-unquote knowledge from the internet. One thing I will say about the internet is it's a scary place. I won't ever show my children on this social media platform. I don't really plan on showing my face per se because I don't really want to show my full-fledged face on this platform. But I think it's scary when people take things like financial advice from people who are not financial advisors. So I am still doing my self-funded independent research, and until I feel 100% comfortable, my money needs to be able to be accessible. And that's the other thing that I find that's a little bit irritating about investing is knowing how long does it have to be in there. And I mean in there like into oblivion. Like how long does it have to be in there to gain the interest that I'm looking for? What if I 5 years down the line wanted to buy a home? You know, what if I had an emergency and I put my emergency fund into that investment and then I had to pull it? Those are things that I believe everyone should do their research on. But I get asked all the time, can you make an investing video? The answer is this is the investing video. Okay, the investing video, we're going to put 275, which was that row, into this. The investing video is this. Do your research. Don't trust everybody. Even my bank seems a little leery on giving me, and I go to a credit union, they don't want to give me wrong advice, you know, and that could put somebody at risk. But if you know, and I'm not saying if you know anything about investing, high yield savings accounts, all the things, boo-boo, I'm talking if you know somebody who personally knows how to teach people on a low income with limited amounts of money, because I'm telling you right now, friend, I don't got no $5,000. I do not have $5,000 just laying around to be like, and here, let's just put it into the abyss. I've had things like 401ks. I have. I know what a Roth IRA is. I've considered that for my retirement. And that's another thing about investing I wanted to get into, because the other investing part ends here. Just if you know anybody, let me know. But a lot of people don't want to work with you unless you've got this. It's one thing that sucks about being on a low income and trying to do your due diligence and trying to not be low income. Alright, so I'm going to start out with some of these coins. So we're going to take 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I'm going to circle that in. So I'm just going to add these in, circle them in as we chat. So retirement. I get a lot of questions about, you're 35. Have you thought about retirement? Have you thought about what your future is going to be as you age? The answer is yes. I'm dealing with aging parents now. My dad turned 60 this year, and he has no plan. There is no contingency plan of what the plan will be. So that makes it the hardest. So I'm going to round up for these. I'm going to put a quarter in, and then I'm going to put $1. Which probably won't make sense to you, but it doesn't matter. It's not your challenge. It will make sense to me. But essentially, the contingency plan is not changed. There is no long term, like we've talked about it. Where are you going to live long term? How are you going to afford to live long term? What if I can't provide you your 3 hots, your cot, your internet, and stability that you need? Because I too, I'm going to add $1 in, I too am struggling. And so, you know, that is always a question. What is it going to look like when I retire? I'm 35. I have at least, I think I can retire, at 67. Don't quote me. I haven't done my research. But I think it's close. I'm thinking it's going to be closer to maybe 70 even. I'm going to put another $1 in for 95. And I think I'm actually going to use my coins for that. But anyway, so do I think about retirement on a low income and how I'm going to pay for my retirement? What's going to happen to me when I get sick and tired of being sick and tired and I'm too old to work and I can't gig work and pick people up and do DoorDash and Uber and Lyft and all the things? Yes, I do think about it on a regular basis. But I am stuck. I'm going to put another $1 in for 90. Miss Violet, would you go lay down? Go lay down. Go. Thank you. She's getting into stuff. She's snarfing it up in here. But I do think about it all the time because I'm dealing with it currently. I have an aging grandparent. You know, my grandmother is the last grandparent I have. She is possibly going to be selling her home because of the fact that she's getting older. My dad is, 60. He doesn't have a house. My mom is going to be 60. She doesn't have a house. She's on disability. So it's something I'm always thinking about. Jordan, we've talked about it many times. Hey, Jordan, what's going to happen if something happens to me? Like, what would that look like for you? And he's like, well, I just don't want to talk about it. Well, it's not something that you just don't talk about because we're all going to be there, okay? We're all going to age. We're all going to get old, I've had 401ks in my past, and I'm not going to confirm nor deny I might even have a 401k now. Do I like 401ks? Not really. They're not my favorite out of the two. I have a Roth IRA I have opened, but it has $0 in it currently. So once I get some stability behind me, I would definitely, and stability meaning I have a decent emergency fund. I have sinking funds that have money in them. So I'm not having to pull from anything other than those sinking funds. And that I'm a month ahead, at least a month ahead, before I get into doing anything with retirement. Because I am still only 35. I know that last year I was 34. But this year is the year of stability. We are in this house now. We don't have a impending doom rent over our heads that was, you know, predicting homelessness and fast. But I definitely, now we're going to go into 75 cents here. I definitely think about it. It's definitely something I worry about. I don't want to be 80 years old working at Walmart. Okay? I know I have a lot of quote unquote catching up to do, and maybe I won't be able to catch up to some of these other people that are in my age group that have had great jobs and great opportunities to save. Maybe I won't get there, you know, but anything is better than just Social Security disability, because Social Security disability is not enough. I have a family member I spoke with, and she is going to be, you know, in that retirement age soon as well. And she's like, Amanda, like, I'm going to do $1.25. That's what I'll do there. I'm literally kind of like freaking out because I don't have a plan. I have family that I'm, you know, living, you know, at their residence, and I don't know what my immediate future is going to look like. And that to me is scary. It's scary. So it's not just my parents, and there's a lot of people out there who are boomers or Generation X, and I mean like very end of boomer, you know, age, Generation X, that are now in retirement age. I am a millennial, and I've worked very hard for all the things I've had, and I've never had a situation. Did I put 150 in there? I think I did. I'll put it in there. It's okay. If I didn't, you know what, you guys? It's okay. We'll make up for it, because I always add extra, as you could tell from up here. So, going back to it, I'm a millennial. I've had it hard. I haven't had it. I'm not making an excuse for myself or other millennials, but I have had a little bit of a rough patch of life, right? I've been homeless. I had kids at a young age, when I, you know, didn't have money to have, you know, kids, and honestly, no one is prepared to have children. No one is really prepared. I have had financial struggles with jobs, low wage jobs that don't offer benefits. I have been working for companies that work me under 40 hours a week for decades now. Just saying. And honestly, I can't tell you enough how many times I wished an employer that I had worked for had a 401k, or had an opportunity for me to have a 401k, but I was so low income in my 20s that I didn't have any freaking money. I didn't have any money. I didn't have any money to put into anything, not even 1%, because every single cent I made counted towards something. So, in that, what I'm trying to get at is that I'm trying to figure it out. And it's hard. It's hard. Because I have, we're going to do 175 right there. I have very little guidance in life for investing in my future. And that's what makes it hard. And it really makes me irritated when I hear that they're still not teaching these things in school. No one taught me about finances in school. I did take a class. I will rephrase that. I took a budgeting class. It was called Money and How to Make It. We talked about resumes. We talked about cover letters. We talked about how to balance a checkbook, how to make a grocery list, how to be a little bit frugal with your money. My teacher talked about the bare bones of what do you need to make your bills. Do you have your rent? Do you have your utilities? Do you have your car? Do you have a car maintenance account where you can pull for car maintenance, or maybe you take a bus? Do you have money for a bus pass? Like, we're talking the very bare basics. And actually, some of the kids that I've worked with have told me that they're learning that too, but it's very much so limiting information. My kids that I still talk to, I call them my kids because I trained them from nothing to something, and they're now working all actually fairly good jobs. They're no longer at my pizza place that I was working at. I'm not there either, so I don't blame them. But essentially, what I'm trying to get at, you guys, is that I sat down with each one of them who were interested and said, okay, well, these are the things you need to know to survive. And some of these kids did not have any guidance in that, and I felt pretty awesome in the fact that I could teach them savings and, how to save and how much should they save now that they're kids living at home with mom and dad. Like, should you move out without a certain expectancy of money? The answer is no. I had one kid come up to me and he was upset and he was like, man, I really need to get more hours because I'm worried about my future self not being able to afford an apartment. And I'm like, well, do you need your apartment right now? Those are the bare basics I could teach somebody. It's hard to teach somebody who's making a similar wage than you that you too can have retirement money. Because I don't have retirement money. I've only worked for 3 companies in all of the time that I have worked food that offered a 401k. One of which was a corporate location. Another was a job that I recently had. And then the other job, I didn't even have a real good running chance at doing any sort of 401k plan because I didn't know enough about 401ks, Roth IRAs, or anything of the sort to even get started. So in fear, I just didn't. Because fear set me back. How many of us live in fear and go, I'm scared to do this first step? Me. I'm on a low income. I can't afford to just be like, here's $500 today. It'd be nice. But I don't have that money right now, and it's not my right now thing. Is it going to be something I can do in the future? Possibly. Possibly. I'm not going to say yes, because I know a lot of you guys are like cheering, yes, you could do this. But we don't know. We don't know. I don't know. And I'm not a risky person. Every time I take risks, because I am on a low income and because it's like jumping off of a cliff instead of a diving board where there's a lifeguard. Your lifeguard is your savings. Your lifeguard is your income being enough. Now hear me out. I feel a little scared to be like, hey, let's divvy the money. Here you go. And Oblivion, this lovely envelope that I've been talking about in my budget with me videos and my cash stuffing videos, this is meant to be for something for me to either invest in myself or my family or my husband and I both. My husband was not taught anything about investing, budgeting, savings. He was just told, hey, go to work, you're going to get Social Security. You know, it's hard. It's hard. And my parents honestly didn't know anything about investing either. Not enough. Not enough to be like, I think I should do that. You know, my dad was like, hey, you know, like, we were scared to take chances. I get that. I get it. I feel it. You know, and there's times where I've gotten, you know, pretty darn, like, frustrated. And I'm like, well, why didn't you woulda, coulda, shoulda, if you would have? And then I reel it back in and I go, Amanda, it's not everybody's fault that they don't know. Knowledge is not just something you're born with. It's not like I woke up at 2 years old going, yeah, I'm going to make a investment in some mutual funds today, and tomorrow I'm going to start my 401k. But I will say this, I've made jokes with my previous employment children, my kids, my other kids, my non-biological kids, that they need to start thinking about things. Even though one of them just graduated and I'm super duper proud of him. I don't know if he still watches my channel, but if you're watching, I'm proud of you. I've been cheering you on this whole time. But he just graduated and he has quite the chunk of savings, you guys, because I drilled it in his head every day for months. What are you going to do with your paycheck when you get it? How much are you going to put into your savings account? And I was like, you make your rules, bro. Like, you make your own rules. But you gotta follow the rules. So he has quite a savings. He has a vehicle. He's doing great. You know, he's a good kid. You know, and he was thankful. He's like, thank you for telling me things that I did not know. You know, and I'm hoping I can get there with both my children. They're still really young, you guys. Really super young. 9 and 13. They gotta be kids for a little bit. This kid, I knew, was turning 18 soon. So, that's my spiel. That's what I have for you. I wish I had more. I wish I was this lovely book of knowledge for all you low-income folks who are struggling to figure out investment and retirement as well. But this is the best I can do for now. If I know more, if I'm able to experience more, I will share. But do what you can with what you got, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys!